Des Moines, and all of Central Iowa, welcome to Mac's World Live. Mac's World is your world. Every day we talk about the issues and topics that matter most to you. And as always, it's your voice we want to hear in Mac's World. So join the conversation by calling 515-244-0077. And now, here's the host of Mac's World Live, J. Michael McCoy.
6 minutes after 3 o'clock, it is live on the 14th day of January. Bob, did you fix that that clock?
I did.
Okay. 14th day of January, 30 days until Valentine's Day.
Oh, that's an interesting way to think about that.
Well, now you don't have any excuse to say, oh, it snuck up on me. I didn't get my wife anything.
You know, it's terrible. You know, the candy's out. And I did think about buying myself some candy.
No, not for you, for her.
Oh, yeah, right, for my wife to buy the
Just go to Hallmark and buy a heart-shaped box of candy, and it's ivory. It's not what's ivory, 99.7% pure. You're good. Heart-shaped box of chocolates.
There you go.
You can't do better than that. You want to throw in a dozen roses? Now you're good. And to your little daughter, you give her a card and say, will you be my your dad? No, don't say, will you be? Say, your daddy's Valentine.
That's actually a really good idea. See, she's old enough. She's old enough now. I think she'd really get into that.
Yeah, so you can explain to her that. I mean, you'll have to get away from the part that, you know, it's a dad deal, because you don't want her growing up thinking that, you know, boyfriend should be daddies.
Right. Sure. Yeah. But
I always gave my girls, you know, Valentines and told them they were daddy's Valentine.
I like that. I think I'll do that.
And one of my
daughters, 30 days to figure it out. Huh?
One of my daughters still talks to me, so I must have done something right.
Well, aren't your sons your Valentines also?
No.
Oh.
No, I'm sorry. I can't go there. That's just icky.
Isn't that interesting though? Never mind. I don't know. That's weird. Would a mom do that to a son? I'm trying to think.
That's okay.
That's okay.
That's okay.
That's an interesting thing.
And I think a mom could do that to a daughter too. I don't know. I'm just an old white guy. What do I mean, seriously, what do I know? I suppose nowadays, if I had a son and a daughter and they were Kate's age, I would probably give them something both.
Yeah.
To make sure that the boy didn't feel left out.
Right. There's that whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, then that's like the, but here's where I'm wrong on that. See, I can be right and wrong in the same breath. Isn't it amazing? Where I'm wrong on that is now I'm into that everybody who participates gets a ribbon.
That's right. Yeah.
Did you hand them out in school when you was in grade school?
Valentines?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Didn't you give them to the boys and the girls both?
Yeah, I guess I did.
That's what we always did when I was in school.
Yeah. See, I still remember
I
still remember my first grade crush, Linda Kelly. Great gal, musical, red hair.
Red hair.
Whew. She went on to be a doctor.
Just think about your life, married to a doctor.
Oh no, I don't want to be married to anybody.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to go down that road.
No, I don't want to be married to anybody but the woman I'm married to.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Anyway,
Bob, how come you let me say that, man? You're supposed to stop me. You're supposed to read my mind and stop me from saying those dumb things.
Well,
Sorry.
Bob was just about ready to jump in there before you said it.
Yeah, I'm just, I think about the big boxes of chocolate.
Yeah.
And I think to myself, what if your wife or significant other is on a diet?
Oh, I knew it.
And
I knew it.
Here you are encouraging them
just
to
get a little box then.
They've got the sugar-free boxes too, guys.
Have you eaten sugar-free chocolate?
No, but I know they're lousy.
Well, and that goes to the whole point, though, Bob. You got to know your significant other. You got to know your spouse.
Yeah.
If she's on a diet, you don't get her a box of chocolate.
There you go.
Because that would get you in trouble. Then
it would.
You could get her a heart-shaped pizza. I think is it Northern Lights who always does a heart-shaped pizza, or
I don't know.
Somebody does.
We should carry he'd make one for you. I'm sure.
Yeah. So
I think maybe just like a peppermint patty, and put a Valentine card on it.
That's a Christmas thing. Peppermint. Oh, you mean like the chocolate thing?
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking peppermint cane.
No.
All right, that's way too much worthless talk. But a month from today is Valentine's Day, so just so you say, Randy King, if you're listening, you have a 30-day notice that in 4 weeks, I just said 30 days. That'd be different. in whatever. You've got 30 days to make sure you get Jill King the most outstanding Valentine's present ever. And you know what I'm suggesting? Twin Doberman pinchers. The full size.
There you go.
Do you think we should get suggestions coming over chat or text line?
Sure. Yeah. What should Chris Roloff get his wife for Valentine's Day?
How do they tell us what I should get?
They could go on the Service Legends Truth chat line at 809-0993, or they could go to webcast1live.com and sign up for the chat, no cost, free, and you could chat us that way.
Well, on TV, you'll always see the ads this time of year about the, is it New Hampshire that produces the teddy bears?
Oh, yeah, the teddy bears. The teddy bears.
And the jammies.
And the jammies, right, in the 90s, and I don't know. I mean, you're still young, so you're probably still, kind of giddy that way, the two of you. But if I got my wife a pair of PJs, she'd smack me upside the head and say, "Wait, tell me, go to bed early? You want to see me around anymore?"
Not if you get those fleece lined.
Oh, those are so comfy.
Yes.
She'd like those.
No, my wife would be very happy.
Fleece line.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
You know the ones that have the feet.
Yes.
That's what she would have to have if she wandered downstairs
This is
to
true.
the cave, because the cave, the patio door will be wide open and it'll be 60 degrees.
That's true.
Army Brad suggested an H&K 9mm.
There you go. Now, I'm a married man. I'll be married 25 years this year. As a station manager, I want you to tell me something.
Okay.
Would it be inappropriate? That's a dangerous way to start any question.
It is. The mics are open. This is live radio, Mac.
Would it be inappropriate to get my wife a pair of pajamas where the front flap came down?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why would they even make that? I don't want to know. So if you have a suggestion for something appropriate that I could get my wife, give us a text on the Service
How
Legends
about a
Truth
set of
text
Flea
line.
Lice jammies with a front flap that comes down?
Gotcha. Right. Text at 809-0993.
Or in the
That's a
case
text
if
line.
you lived out in the old outhouse days, you might want the flap in the back.
Yes, much more.
All right, let's
Wow.
wow.
And Mac
Nothing.
and Chris
I'm
is
just-
going, wow, Christian radio.
Christian radio is
Nobody
radio.
even knows. I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't even understand.
Christian radio. Everybody thinks that Christian radio ought to be this sparkling clean. If you're a Christian, why are we a Christian? We're a Christian because we're sinners. I was in the shower this morning, which is one of the places.
Wait a minute. Nobody wants to look. This is getting bad. Now people are going to picture Mac in the shower. We don't want that either.
No, we definitely don't.
We do not
that.
want to be. Don't picture Mac in the shower. Don't do it.
But that's where I get on my knees and pray.
Oh no! Now Mac's on his knees in the shower. Okay, continue with the story. We're all.
And I was in one of those things where I'm going, God, I'm so repentant of this certain thing, and I keep having to come back to you and be repentant. I'm certainly not good enough. I'm serious now. I'm certainly not good enough for you. I'm feeling that, right? Because I keep having to go back to him and repent for the same thing. And I was overcome with this feeling of him saying, that's why I sent you Jesus.
But do you know why?
Do you really shush, Frank, just a second. Do you really, I didn't mean to be rude. Just hold on.
I got you.
Do you really think he would have had to die on the cross if I could actually quit sinning? Especially the toughest things, the ones I'm the most repentant of. And I'm a guy that didn't even understand the word repentant. That was a song in an ACD or a line in an ACDC song. But I'm serious. I get tired, and you're not one of those guys, so I'm not talking to you, Chris. But I do get tired of some of those guys who think Christian radio ought to be this perfect example of the kingdom. Well, the perfect example of the kingdom is Jesus, and he forgave us. He died on the cross so I could have thoughts and maybe inappropriately say them on Christian radio.
I don't know.
Whatever.
I don't know. That's what he died to forgive you for your inappropriateness.
But the reason why you have those thoughts in the shower is because it's like a closet, and we're supposed to go into the prayer closet.
No, I think it's because I don't know. It's just a place I've always connected to him.
Yeah, I was, in all seriousness though, any time that we think about God, I would encourage each one of us to draw closer to him and to confess our sins. I think it's good and it's healthy. And the Bible tells us if we say we have no sin, we've deceived ourselves. We're the only ones that get deceived when we run around thinking that we're sinless and that we're perfect. We deceive ourselves. And furthermore, we say that God's a liar, because God calls us sinners, and he sent his son to die for sinners just like me and just like you.
Yeah, so I had a friend of mine the other day knock on something I was talking about. He said, well, that's not appropriate for Christian radio. And I said, don't you understand that's the Pharisees' line? Well, that's not appropriate. Let me look in my book, page 632, law number 721. That's inappropriate. I mean, I'm not saying we should be Bob and Tom on here.
Right. I wouldn't enjoy Bob and Tom. I just think the reality is that Christians don't always think that stuff is funny. It is why. That's funny sometimes to some folks, but it wasn't particularly funny to me. So
to have my wife in a pair of police line pajamas with a flap open on the front,
right? That thing.
Speaking of Valentine's gifts, on the our text line, we had a suggestion.
The Service Legends Truth text line at 809-0993.
Yeah, it says JR says cook her lobster tails on the grill.
Ooh, she would like that.
Yeah, she likes lobster.
Yeah.
But I'd be scared. There'd be a $40 piece of meat, and I'd put it on the... I'm not great on the grill. I mean, I'm on the grill a lot, but I've ruined a lot of things on the grill.
Yeah, my wife, though...
Did I ever tell you about my beer can chicken?
What?
I had beer can chicken on the grill, and I just thought I'd put a little oil on the chicken so it would brown up. Boom! Wow. Smoked them. It actually disintegrated the bones. Yeah, you don't. Why would you put oil on chicken on beer can? Because it's going to drip down and start a fire, right?
Oh, gotcha.
All right, the community is mourning over the loss of a senior high school student. We'll talk about that next. And the community calendar on The Truth.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can return the grandkids, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We'll help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
Hi, my name is David Burrier, your Hope Coach. I host a live weekly talk show called I've Been There every Thursday afternoon at 5:30, right here on webcast1live.com, and on my weekly radio program Saturday mornings at 10 on Truth Network 99.3 FM. I interview common everyday people who have survived incredible life challenges and who testify to God's faithfulness in the midst of their storms. So join me as we bring a message of hope and encouragement. Everybody needs hope. I know, because I've been there.
Rock and Prevention is celebrating 25 years of creating a caring community. We want to say thank you to the tens of thousands of Rock High School mentors that have carried our message of health, love, and encouragement to over 1.5 million children, teachers, and parents. Our mentors teach children methods and skills to prevent bullying and drug use. Thank you to all the school administrators, teachers, and counselors for their opportunity to serve you. Rock on, fair citizens, rock on! This is Pat McManus for Rock and Prevention, the Richard O. Jacobson Foundation, and this station.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast 1 Live.
21 minutes after 3 o'clock, the things we won't say, I promise. 30 days from Valentine's Day on this 14th day of January. J. Michael McCoy, you expect nothing less, do you? Thanks for listening. It's Max World Live, and as we always do, it's time now. It's time for the Truth Community Calendar. Let's go to Studio 17B with Chris Roloff.
Oh, I got to go to 17B. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Music.
Okay, now I'm in 17B. It's good to be in Studio 17B. I like the wallpaper in this room, Mac. It's beautiful. I like how you did the dandelions on the wall.
Yeah,
nice in there. So we got a couple of things coming up to make you aware of. This Saturday there are two events. You can actually, I think you could probably attend both of them. The Midwest March for Life is this Saturday. Folks will gather at the west steps of the state capitol at 11 a.m. and then at 12:30 they will head over to the Iowa Event Center and hear from keynote speaker Melissa Oden. You can get all the details about the Midwest March for Life online at iowartl.org. That's the Iowa Right to Life website, iowartl.org. Also this weekend is the Inspire 2016 Conference and Health Fair. David Bush is the guy putting this on. He'll be on with us on Friday to tell us more about that. That is this Saturday at First Federated Church. You can find out details online at inspirehealth16.com, and that's the event that Mac has talked about where Van Harden will be speaking, and we'll learn how he lost 91 pounds.
He's also going to do a book signing for the Purple Wedge.
Oh, awesome. He will also be signing books.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay. Winter Jam is coming up on Friday, January 22nd. That's at the Wells Fargo Arena. You can find out more about Winter Jam at 2016.jamtour.com.
Oh, baby.
Steve Dace has written a new book, and you can get it before anybody else can get it just because you happen to live here in Iowa and listen to 99.3. You know about the special event. Steve Dace's new book is called A Nefarious Plot, and they will be having a pre-release party Saturday, January 23rd at Harvest Bible Chapel in Grimes. If you want to know where that is, that was the former Gort's house. No, I didn't say that right.
Yeah, it's the former Gort's house.
Gort's house, yeah, that's how you say it. You can find out details about this event on our Facebook page, or you can go to anefariousplot.eventbrite.com.
Hard box of chocolate.
The adoption support group put on by Beauty Amidst the Ashes is Sunday, January 24th.
I don't care if you're on a diet. I'm sorry.
All right. In the spirit of Valentine's Day, adoption. If you have adopted children, thinking about adoption, if you got adoption questions, ideas, concerns, Sunday, January 24th from 6 to 8 p.m., head over to Walnut Creek Church. Details are at beautyamidsttheashes.com. And also coming up is the Believer and Civic Involvement Conference. This will feature Dr. Russell Moore. He is the president of the Ethics and Religious Liberty Commission for the Southern Baptist Convention. This will be a really cool event. It is open to the general public. That is Tuesday, January 26th from 6:30 to 9 p.m. at First Family Church in Ankeny, Iowa is where that's at. Also, the What Did You Expect Marriage Conference featuring Paul Tripp.
What did you expect from me?
Paul Tripp will be here live in Des Moines, January 29th and 30th at Grace Church in Des Moines. Details for that and to get your tickets, only $10 for this two-day marriage conference with Paul Tripp. It's $10 a person. Details are online at gracehome.com.
I need some counseling.
gracehome.com for that. And very excited to let you know about this. The Homeschool Iowa Night at the Iowa Energy. It's a game between Vision and Des Moines Warriors varsity homeschool basketball team. That's right. The tickets are $9.93. The event is Tuesday, February 23rd. You'll hear more about that as we get closer. It's going to be at the Wells Fargo Arena. Details online on our Facebook page. And if you would like to have your event announced on 99.3 and possibly have Max sing your announcement on 99.3, you can call us at 515-251 515-251-2663. That's 515-251-2663. Ron will answer the phone, and he will be silly, and he will tell you all that you need to know to get your event submitted. And if you've got questions about any of these events, you can call that number. Thanks for listening to The Truth, 99.3 FM.
Anybody sense Max in the ornery mood today?
A little bit. That was tough. It was fun to try to focus.
You did well. You did well.
Was that like a broadcaster competition thing? Can he keep talking while Max sings?
That's a grasshopper thing.
Grasshopper thing?
Yeah, grasshopper.
Gotcha.
You did well, grasshopper.
Thank you so much.
Shine on.
I hope that you guys can go out to those things. A lot of cool things coming up. Anyway, I'm excited about them.
All right.
Keep me busy. Keep me off the streets.
I don't think there's anything sadder than a young person who chooses to take their own life. And so many times when this happens, we wind backwards somehow through journaling and whatever it is, counseling, family, work. We can discover why. And that question why is asked by the accuser. And so many times the question is the question is wrong. It's not why. It's what's in this for me, God. What do you want me to learn out of it? And there's a whole community right now in Waukee, Iowa, the friends and parents and family of Drew Lineman, and I may be saying that right, wrong, L-I-E-N-E, Lineman, L-I-E-N-E-M-A-N-N, Lineman, 18 years old. He attempted suicide over the weekend, and he passed away on Monday. The doctors told him on Monday that, that he was probably not ever going to be the same again. He was being kept alive by machines, and so the family made the most difficult decision ever, and that is to give his body for donor parts. And so Drew will live on with other people, and I can only imagine if I had a child and I lost that child, and I found out that his heart had gone to another person to save their life, I think I would be eternally connected in so many ways, spiritually, physically, biologically, to that person. Guess how many suicide deaths there were in Iowa last year? Bob, you would probably know better than anybody, but can you guess?
No, I don't know.
447. And you know what's amazing about that? That's 128 more than deaths on the road because of car accidents.
Do they break that down by age brackets?
Well, suicide is the second leading cause of death in Iowans from age 15 to 34. Those numbers, coupled with the closing of 2 state mental hospitals, are leading some to think suicide is not getting the attention it deserves. One lady with the Iowa Mental Health Association says, in the general big scheme of things, we are very far off from where we need to be, and we need that support, not only from the financial perspective, but from a legislative perspective. According to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, one person dies by suicide every... Oh, seriously? One person dies by suicide every 20 hours in Iowa?
It's probably down.
One a day? Well, I guess if there were 447 last year and there's only 3, I guess.
It may be down to minutes or seconds in the nation. That's just Iowa stats.
Wanda Liminen, and I'm sorry I'm saying that wrong, Lineman, the mother of the deceased, said a number of people have come up to her telling stories about Drew. One young lady in high school was thinking about committing suicide, and he encouraged her, walked alongside her, and talked her out of those suicidal thoughts. Here's a question. No, I don't want to ask that question. Anyway, our prayers are with that family, and we have to believe that that Drew is now with his Creator and his Heavenly Father and his Lord and Savior, and whatever good is to come of this tragic death, will be that of God. Just remember that when you're thinking about when life becomes that bad, here's the thing you may not understand about suicide, and I'm unfortunate that I do. You really think you're doing the best thing for your family. The accuser has talked you into the fact that that's the best thing you could do for your family is just go away. The life insurance is left. The problems wouldn't be there. I wouldn't be a burden to my family anymore. My sister doesn't like me anyway. Those are the things that the accuser puts in your head, and it tells you that it's okay to do that. And you really are convinced that it's okay to do that. And I don't know how the accuser has so much power. I don't know why the darkness has so much power over light. If there is a pin light of light in the darkness can't survive. The darkness can't survive because there is some light. So if for some reason you're listening to this program today and you're thinking maybe people who choose that make the right decision, you can call me. I'll walk off this studio right now and I'll meet you wherever you want. Because it is not the right answer. It is not what your Creator wants you to do. Your Creator is in charge of when you leave. And you doing that is not the answer. I personally believe that if I were to commit suicide today, and I'm not even close, that I would be in the hands of my Heavenly Father. Now, there are those in other denominations and religions which would tell you that I had committed a sin and I had no time to repent for it because I was dead. I don't know. I'm not a theologist. Maybe it's just the good news that we want to cling to, that suicide would not separate us from our Creator. I believe that. Given that, that's not a good excuse to want to go home to Him. Although people who are in a frame of mind who feel that that's the only answer and then are somehow convinced by the accuser that it would be the best thing for their family, there's not much more darkness than that. But there is a pin light of light in that darkness, and that is your Savior, Jesus.
Do you think, in your opinion, that the pressures on adolescents are greater than when we was kids in the 50s and 60s to commit suicide, or do you think it was as bad then as it is now? What's your opinion?
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised either way. I wouldn't be surprised because of the medicines and the mental health and the counseling that's acceptable inside of public schools, government schools, that there are fewer suicides. I also know that suicide so many times is glorified. And I don't know whether it'll happen in this case. If it does, it does. And no one should chastise anyone. But, they will make these videos of remembrance, and they will have T-shirts with names and numbers, and they'll set something up in honor of that person. And there are some that would say you shouldn't glorify someone who chooses to take their own life. You shouldn't put them in that special light. I kind of say baloney to that. I kind of say you grieve the way you want to grieve. No matter how that person left this earth, you grieve the way you want to grieve. But suicide is just, the tragedy that suicide leaves behind, the scars that suicide leaves behind, especially on classmates and children. It's just not the way you show love. It's just not the how to send the message. Jesus is my Savior. God is my Creator, and you are my brother and sister in Christ, and I want to honor you, and I want to love you, and I want to adore you. So thoughts and prayers to everybody involved.
National figures is suicides 1 every 12.3 minutes.
Nationally.
Or is that worldwide? National.
All right, coming up next, some local news. What's going on? A Boone man already in prison has been found perhaps negligent in sexual assault. A trial for a man accusing his killing his girlfriend's toddler ends in a mistrial. We'll talk about it next.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
I'm Brian Leach, owner of Service Legends, and my position is Chief Talent Officer. I'm Nicholas Wonderscheid.
I am Bernie Hobbs.
And I'm the service manager.
Marketing director and client relations manager.
Everything that we do is about ensuring that we exceed your expectations.
Our clients are important to us. 100% satisfaction.
We're not just focused on heating and cooling. That's the easiest part of our job, actually, is fixing furnaces and air conditioners.
Everyone that we come in touch with, we want to improve lives.
Bottom line is, we've got our installation guarantees, 25% energy savings guarantee, comfort guarantee, temperature selection guarantee, property protection guarantee.
100% satisfaction guaranteed, fixed rate or it's free.
All of those guarantees are backed up with a 100% money back guarantee to hold ourselves accountable to making sure that you get what you're after.
Just fixing the problem today. If they have another problem 5 days down the road, it's still fixed rate or it's free.
We use what's called straightforward pricing. Our technicians are going to give you an exact to-the-penny price on what it's going to take before they move forward with any repair. That way you know what to expect.
It's the same price every day.
No surprises.
If you get off work at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you come home, you realize that, oh, my furnace is broken. Now you need to call somebody out that night. You shouldn't have to pay more for that.
We're guaranteeing service 24/7.
We run afternoons, evenings, nights, weekends. We're staffed to work that.
Phone rings at 3 in the morning. You'll get one of our representatives answering the phone every time.
We're not sending you out to Timbuktu in some call center. It's our Service Legend team members, our mission control team.
I'll take a call anytime.
And then they answer the phones the same way during the day as they do at night.
It's a great day at your service company. How can we make you smile?
That's the only way to provide true 24-hour service.
When you're able to let somebody actually live in their home safely when they weren't able to do that before, where they don't have to stay up at night and worry about, is the heat going to come back on? Are we going to freeze the pipes? Is the baby in the room next door going to be sick because they got too cold? When you're able to help somebody overcome challenges like that, that's impacting a life. That makes a difference. I get goosebumps thinking about it.
I love the team. I love the people that I work with.
We have fun, but we work hard.
I call them my ambassadors of legendary service. If you could just envision what that is, that's who we're sending to your home.
They literally will call in, pick up the phone and call and say, hey, I want to talk to your manager. And I get on the phone, they're like, that technician that was at my house was the greatest technician ever. That's cool to me.
We want to brighten people's days.
Every person that we have going into the house has gone through an extensive background check.
Drug testing, we have a very thorough interview process that 1 out of 140 people make it through.
If we promise you something, that's what you're going to get, no matter what.
We're here when you need us to protect the safety and comfort of your family.
If you're not happy, we're going to make it right.
If we're willing to put 100% money back guarantee on what we do, what type of work do you think we do?
Give us a call. We're there for you 24/7, 365 days a year.
Enough said.
Uh, 22 minutes before the top of the hour, Salem Radio Network News at the top. We've got a couple guests coming in. Tamir is going to be here. He's a young man who's on a mission, literally on a mission, and now he's going back home to, where's he from? Guatemala?
Southeast Asia, I think.
Yeah, someplace. And he's going to be here. Also, Tim Overland's coming in because next week is the anniversary of Roe versus Wade, the simply worst Supreme Court decision ever in the history of mankind. So we'll talk about that.
Now, wasn't he an orphan in a Russian orphanage?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, let me tell you, this could be the brilliance of a defense attorney. Bob, you have testified in many trials. I'm curious. So a man is accused of killing his girlfriend's toddler, and they're in the middle of trial. You know what this is, the Nissa Alvarez and Joe Lopez. Joe is accused of killing 20-month-old Ruby. So Alvarez was asked about her relationship with Lopez, who had just moved in with her and her daughter a few months prior to Ruby's death. Alvarez says, this is the young lady, quote, "It was on and off. He would force sexual intercourse with me." Immediately, the defense attorney asked for a mistrial, and the judge declared it. The motion for mistrial was required for the purpose of protecting my client's rights, said defense attorney Thomas Miller. Now, Bob, couldn't that be seen as malicious on the part of the defense attorney? It's his client. He called this woman to testify, and she says, yeah, he raped me. And, okay, now we have a mistrial.
Well, I guess I'm trying to determine, is this a different case? Was this rape on a different...
Well, she said it was on and off. He would force sexual intercourse with me. I'm using the word rape because when you force sexual intercourse on somebody, that's called rape. That's not called anything else but rape.
Well, you see, what I don't know is, was that did they find that out on discovery? I mean, there's a lot to do. If that was never brought up and that was something new, defense needs to know about any new witnesses or testimony. So I don't think that goes into that. I'm assuming so.
But if you're the defense attorney and you get your witnesses to testify that the man who's being accused of this heinous death would rape her, and the prosecution never knew anything about that, I don't know. It just seems weird.
Yeah, I think
it just seems fishy.
Well, it's a matter of prejudicing the jury, you know, because that doesn't. It's a matter of what's fair for that particular case. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you don't, but mistrial just simply means they have to do it again.
They have to do it again.
New jury,
more money.
Yeah,
more time. Your tax dollars, my tax dollars.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just think it smells fishy.
Well, I don't know. I mean, that's the thing, is there are a lot of different things in the law, and we don't have all the info.
All right, Frank, have you ever been to Adong? The Vietnamese restaurant downtown? No,
I have not.
Bob, have you?
No.
Ryan, have you? Seriously, none of you guys been to Adong? Adong, one of the finest Vietnamese restaurants in our community, had a fire in August of 2015, destroying the kitchen and heavily damaging the rest of the building. They had hoped the restaurant would be open by Thanksgiving, but cleanup and remodeling pushed the grand opening back to this week. Well, today they said that they would not be able to open this week. They were going to open its doors this weekend. They will not be able to do it. They have not had final inspections by the city and the fire department. He said a lot of people have stopped by to call the restaurant every day asking when it will be reopened. They're very excited, but also a little nervous, as you can imagine. So if you were planning on heading down to Adong for some of that pho that's so good, they have such good food there. I mean, everything they make is just exceptional. I mean, you may not like frog legs, but as frog legs are made, they make them the best.
Well, yes.
And their pho is incredible. Am I saying that right? The pho, the soup?
That I don't know.
Yeah. That's one of the best things they have.
Ryan,
all right. What?
Ryan was wanting to tell you what it was, I think.
I call it pho.
Pho?
Yeah.
Okay. Adong, but you've never been to Adong for that?
I have. I remember I actually have.
Okay, long time ago.
It's my favorite pho, though. The best pho is on
Second Avenue.
Hickman and 6th.
Yeah.
Right by that McDonald's.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's very good stuff. All right. Do you have my sound cut ready to play?
Yes.
All right. So as you guys know, 2 American naval ships outside of Kuwait were boarded by the Iranians. The soldiers, 9 men and 1 woman, were forced to get down on their knees, put their hands above their head, and surrender. And then they got one of the naval officers to admit that they had strayed out of the area and they were in the wrong and they should have been boarded.
And the female had to don a head attire.
Right. And a burqa.
Burqa.
Whatever. And first of all, wasn't there probably an American aircraft carrier within 100 miles? And they're loaded with jets. And if you had an American naval vessel, they had radios together. They could have said, hey, listen, we're having trouble. They ran out of gas. That was one report that the administration is putting out. Here's my point. You're about to hear a series of sound bites where the government, the administration, the Obama administration makes every... turn this into, oh, how wonderful it is to have a good relationship with Iran. By the way, meanwhile, we have pastors, American pastors, and we have journalists being held by Iran. Those detainees were not negotiated with to be released and brought back, but yet these people say, what a wonderful relationship. Do I have 3 minutes to play this? Yes? All right, let's hear it.
of their safety and that they will be able to move forward on their journey promptly.
We've received assurances from the Iranians, both that our sailors are safe, that they're being sort of afforded the proper courtesy that you would expect.
They were given blankets, a place to sleep, as well as fed.
Realized they were there in distress and said they would release them and release them like, ordinary nations would do. That's the way nations should deal with love. That's why it's important to have channels open.
Hold it right there.
Handle professionally.
Ordinary relations. Friendly relations, the vice president said. Friendly relations wouldn't make 9 men and a woman get on their knees, their hands behind their back on the ground with guns pointed at them. If any other country had boarded one of our ships, if China had boarded one of our ships, if North Korea had boarded one of our ships and did that, we'd consider that an act of war. But with this administration, the Iranians do it. And, they're our buddies. Well, let's have marshmallow cupcakes and pass them around.
Do you remember Ashton Kutcher had a show on some MTV? Punked?
Yeah.
This is our president and our country, Joe Biden, John Kerry, getting punked by Russia, getting punked by Iran. And we're over there handing them money, hand over fist. You wonder why Donald Trump says we're doing stupid deals.
So this American ship, for whatever reason, has an Iranian military army guard pull it over and say, we're boarding you. You don't think they didn't radio to the closest Dwight Eisenhower or whoever the closest warship was, and they didn't scramble about 10 fighter jets and send the message to Iran, you board that American ship, you're boarding American soil.
That was an act of provocation on Iran's part, and it should be met with and dealt with in a serious nature. But we don't have anybody in the White House that has the cojones to do anything about it.
I don't know. We may listen to more of that later on. You can find it on the web. It's pretty amazing, this world that we live in now. Iran is considered a hero for boarding an American military ship, making the soldiers on their knees with their hands behind their back and admitting they did something wrong on tape. What a humiliation. Coming back live.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can return the grandkids, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We'll help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
Hi, my name is David Burrier, your Hope Coach. I host a live weekly talk show called I've Been There every Thursday afternoon at 5:30, right here on Webcast1Live.com, and on my weekly radio program Saturday mornings at 10 on Truth Network 99.3 FM. I interview common everyday people who have survived incredible life challenges and who testify to God's faithfulness in the midst of their storms. So join me as we bring a message of hope and encouragement. Everybody needs hope. I know, because I've been there.
Rockton Prevention is celebrating 25 years of creating a caring community. We want to say thank you to the tens of thousands of Rock High School mentors that have carried our message of health, love, and encouragement to over 1.5 million children, teachers, and parents. Our mentors teach children methods and skills to prevent bullying and drug use. Thank you to all the school administrators, teachers, and counselors for their opportunity to serve you. Rock on, fair citizens. Rock on. This is Pat McManus for Rock and Prevention, the Richard O. Jacobson Foundation, and this station.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast 1.
10 minutes before the top of the hour, 3:50. Salem Radio Network News at the top of the hour, and then next hour we'll talk a little bit about the fact that next week is Roe versus Wade. Its anniversary of it becoming law. Also talk with some missionaries on their plans and what they're doing, and maybe some more local news stories.
But the worst thing about Roe v. Wade is the original woman who was in that suit has recanted her views about abortion. That just stinks to high something to me.
Well, I've got a solution. If a woman needs
your legs.
If a woman needs an abortion, if a man and a woman, let me back up. If a man and a woman, because it takes two to tango. If a man and a woman find that they need to abort their child, then I believe we ought to provide the medical assistance for them to do that, if that's the best we can get in this country. But that man and that woman need to be charged with manslaughter.
How about sterilized?
No, that's too Bernie Sanders for me. No, that's not fair. They've made a mistake, but by golly, I don't know. I just can't believe we live in a world where we've killed 60-some million babies in less than 50 years.
Legally.
Remember the gentleman we had yesterday, Pastor Phil? And he was talking about opening that church in Highland Park, planting that church, and 58% of the Highland Park area is Latino. And then the next biggest one was white, and the next biggest one was African American. You know why they're the third? Because they keep killing each other off. Margaret Sanger, who began Planned Parenthood, wanted to do it to eliminate the African American population, and they have fallen right into that trap.
And they keep voting Democratic.
And they keep. All right, so that'll be that'll be some of the stuff that's going on in the next hour here on The Truth 99.3. An Iowa man already in prison on sexual abuse charges has been charged again in connection with a case in Boone. 41-year-old Jody Anderson is charged with one count of second-degree sex abuse and one count of third-degree sex abuse. The victims in the case were 11 and 13. Anderson is currently serving a 10-year prison sentence at the Newton Correctional Facility after he pleaded guilty to one count of third-degree sex abuse for a case out of Winnebago County. Now, you talk about sterilization. Well, of course, that wouldn't help. These, Bob, isn't it correct that these are not crimes of sex? These are crimes of anger and hate and fear
and control.
Mm-hmm. Well, at least he's in jail. At least we know where he's at, and we're not wasting any money going after him. And if he's one of your relatives or somebody you know, pray for him. Pause and pray. That boy's broken, and we all are. We all are broken. We could all be broken just as bad as Jody, and maybe some of us even worse. For heaven's sakes, prayer. Pause and pray. Pray and pause. Ted Cruz is in trouble. Maybe. Apparently, his wife, who worked for Goldman Sachs, secured a $500,000 loan. Or I'm sorry.
$1 million.
$1 million loan for Senator Cruz's bid to be a senator in Texas. Which, there's nothing wrong with any of that. What did he do wrong? He didn't report it on his financial statement. Now, why wouldn't you do that? Why would you not report? There's nothing wrong with it. It's not illegal to do that.
The purpose to claim that is for a tax write-off?
No, you just have to reveal where you get your money. If you're going to run for office, you have to reveal, where
full disclosure.
Yeah, full, except for Barack Obama and his college, But I just don't understand why Cruz would do that.
And he's a lawyer to boot, so it isn't due to ignorance.
Cruz wants to, here's the options, okay? Here's the options. As Frank said, he's a lawyer. He knows right from wrong. He knows that you have to do that. You can't simply forget to file the disclosure. You can't do that. He made up a self-relevant story to go with it. Liquidate everything. Really, mint. get a honking big loan from my wife's company. 3, he's going on stage tonight in a debate against several highly skilled candidates who don't like him to begin with. And they're likely to just participate in continuing to barb him. Trump's going to have a field day.
Has he responded at all?
No. Not that I can see. Not according to the New York Times wrote this story. And
New York, or was it Washington Post?
New York Times story could not have come at a worse time for Senator Cruz. It may have originally come from the Washington Post.
Well, it could have come at a worse time. He could be the nominee. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's true.
They're probably holding back.
Yeah. So this in a time when Wall Street bailouts and the influence on big banks and it's a theme that has been carried into the bid for the Republican nomination, it would have highlighted his immense hypocrisy if, in fact, they decide to run with it.
Well,
if he does become the nominee, Clinton, who has no room to talk about, financial purity, but she'll be all over it.
Well, here's the issue I have with it. It's the cozy relationship that the government seems to have with Goldman Sachs in particular, that they're the same pool of people that all our financial people get. That's the pool in which both parties nominate their nominees for their cabinet positions in the government, and it's a relationship that stinks. And Cruz claims to be an outsider, trying to clean the system up, but yet he's kind of in the system.
Well, I'm not trying to defend him, but we haven't heard from him yet.
Right. Yeah, no, I know. And I know that he's climbing up, and that's what the media does. They really don't come after you until your head comes out of the mouse hole. It's the old camel's nose under the tent thing.
Whack-a-mole.
Whack-a-mole, that's right. Yeah. It really doesn't come out until, we better start looking into Ted Cruz. I don't know. And I like Ted Cruz. I got no problem with Ted
They've
Cruz.
all had their turn. Ben Carson got whacked. Ted Cruz has gotten whacked. Everybody that sticks their head up. Marco Rubio.
He's getting whacked by Bush right now.
On missing meetings.
On missing votes. key votes.
But he's not running for senator again. Unlike, I think, Ted Cruz, if he doesn't get the nominee, will try to remain a senator. Marco Rubio isn't. He's dropping his senatorship.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, coming up next hour, we continue with Max World Live here on 99.3 The Truth. Phone lines are open, 244-0077. And the Service Legends Truth Talk text line at 809-0993. You can text that. Bob Montserrat, the Cat in the Hat here, watching that chat and watching those texts. And we'd love to hear from you. Ryan's producing. I'm J. Michael McCoy. If I haven't told you lately, thanks for listening. Love this job. Couldn't do it without you. We're coming back after Salem Radio Network News here on the Truth Network, 99.3.